was on a Sunday in August. The day was actually the 18th. It was the year 2019, actually. And that was the day on this very channel I reached back and I was like, you know what? I want to do it, but I watch out. I reached back and I slapped your ass for not hitting that like button. But all jokes aside, though, so I was doing DoorDash for a minute last year, and then I'm gonna tell you guys the story. Now I'm not gonna say at the beginning. I'm gonna tell you kind of later to the end because this I feel like this. At least at the time I was doing it, I don't feel like it was the safest thing. I don't know much about Postmates. DoorDash, it was. I think at the time I was doing it, was still kind of new. It's a lot of things we'll talk about later, but right now I'm about to check out. This is why I wanted to watch this one hella bad. 3 true disturbing Postmates / DoorDash stories by Mr. Nightmare. Now, one of the main reasons why I kind of don't want to watch this one, because I know it's gonna be a nasty story in here somewhere where somebody did something to somebody's food, and I use DoorDash a lot. My girl do too, and I'm like, man, I may not use it ever again. But yo, we're not gonna do too much talking. I'll tell you guys my story towards the end. Anyway, check out the original video. Link in the description below. But let's go. Like button. And it sucks too. I'm home alone right now. If you see me looking around, it's because
For a very brief 2 months, I worked as a delivery driver for the app DoorDash. It was to make some quick money on the side on the weekends. I live in a suburb of Nevada, so deliveries are usually quick and close. Someone made a big order to a local burger joint, and I accepted the delivery. When the food was finished, I loaded it into my car and checked the destination on the app. It was a house across town in a cul-de-sac. I tended to drive quickly over the speed limit to get more deliveries out, aka get more money. When you drive like me though, you're bound to get into some trouble once in a while.
I never did it at night.
This time, as I was driving up the block towards the cul-de-sac, I saw the sickening glow of the blue and red lights in my rearview mirror.
Police.
I pulled to the side and got written a ticket for more money than I'd possibly even make that night.
Dang, that sucked.
It was a horrible feeling that I'd spent my night doing deliveries only to end up losing money.
That sucked.
Still, I had to finish this delivery, albeit a bit late now. After the cop got back in his car, I drove right down towards the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, put over again. No, I'm playing.
I got to the house, ran towards the front door, and knocked really hard since there was apparently no doorbell. As I waited for the door to open,
I had a creepy one too.
I looked around this dark cul-de-sac. I say dark because there weren't any streetlights.
Why would you
only the small amount of light that was given off by the 3 total houses sitting on the street. It was a pretty unusual dead end. Not a nice looking spot by any means. The house wasn't exactly the prettiest either. The door finally opened, and an average height bald guy opened the door. He had a grayish beard with brown stains in the middle. His body language and way of behaving was immediately weird, screaming drunk or a drug addict.
Oh, I deal with drunks
too. To top
too.
it off, his breath was awful as he said, "How you doing?" in his loud, obnoxious voice.
I'm good.
He told me to come in. I told him no, it's okay, as I held out his bag of food, waiting for him to grab it so I could leave.
He'll grab his arm.
He said, no, come in, I got something for you. I told him, really, it's okay, I need to be on my way. He said something along the lines of not being able to tip me through the app, so he'd have to give me some cash money.
Bring it out then.
Against my better judgment, I entered the house with his food still in my hand.
Why? He dropped.
I heard a car pulling up into the cul-de-sac as I stepped inside. As soon as I cleared the door, the man slammed it shut and told me to follow him to the kitchen and to put the food on the table. For some reason, even as uncomfortable as this guy made me, I followed him into his disgusting, messy, smelly kitchen.
Well, nope. I hate it.
He went into his basement and told me to wait there in the kitchen.
I darted out.
He shut the door and I heard him stomping down his steps. I stood there feeling awkward, but also nervous. There was a short silence, and I stood there looking at my phone, texting a couple friends about what I was experiencing currently.
What I do is he call.
Suddenly, there was a huge crash from down in the basement.
Call. Yep, call.
It sounded like a big shelf holding a bunch of smaller items toppling over, followed by what was a scream for help. It seemed as though the man was hurt by whatever had fallen down.
I thought somebody else was saying help. Don't go.
I ran to the basement door and opened it.
Don't go!
To my surprise, looked down to see nothing but darkness. Not a single light was on. I called down into the basement. You okay? I heard the man moaning in apparent pain in the darkness below.
Do not.
I asked where the light switch was. Instead, he just kept saying help. I used the flashlight on my Samsung to start walking down the noisy, creaky stairs.
What? Oh my God!
As I got maybe halfway down, the man's moaning sound stopped and it was completely silent. I stopped as I realized how silent it had grown and asked if he was still okay. There was no response.
Just back up.
Suddenly, I got a really bad feeling in my gut.
You just not getting
Something
it?
wasn't right. I heard a small cracking sound from in front of the steps, like a pebble being crushed against a concrete floor.
Because he's standing right there.
Then there was a loud knocking at the front door upstairs. I turned and ran upstairs to open it, and it was the cop who had pulled me over about 5 minutes ago.
Thank goodness!
He was holding something familiar, 2 folded pieces of paper clipped together, asking me if it was mine.
Thank goodness, thank
It
goodness.
was, and I grabbed it from him. But I also told him in obvious distress that I thought something strange was going on with this man who I just delivered food to. I told him it sounded like he got injured downstairs.
You know how much I would love the cops
but it
right
also
there.
seemed suspicious. I showed the cop to the basement door, and with his hand on his holster,
Yep.
he called down
Keep it
into
on
the
there.
basement. I told him there wasn't a light switch,
Don't go down.
so he took out his flashlight and started walking down the stairs slowly. I waited at the top of the stairs as he progressed to the bottom step, then disappeared from my view.
Oh man, I'm gone, bruh.
I didn't wait too long before hearing a commotion downstairs. The cop seemed to be yelling in response to being attacked.
Well, I'm gone.
The commotion ended with a gunshot. Then there were cries of pain, genuine cries this time. The cop called up to me to come help him get the guy upstairs.
Why would you do? This cop is working for this guy. No, you call for backup, man. I'm done, bro. This story is creeping me the hell out because every time he's like telling a little sentence, I'm ready for like something to jump out and happen. Because at this point, I'm sorry, use a clown. You should like one thing that really got me about DoorDash. They should really make it heavy, let you know, do not enter anyone's home. People come out and get their own food. That I don't know if it's part of the app or not, if it is legit, but they should make that very known because people can legit be waking up dead from this stupid app. And look, real quick, it's one situation I had. Well, I mean, I was at this hood-looking apartment. I'm talking about it. For one, I already don't like elevators, and then I like in this apartment, it was just like so ghetto and beat. It was just try. I was like, I was not going in there. I just knew I was like going and hit the corner, and there's gonna be like 10 ninjas, not actual ninjas. You know what I mean? Just waiting on me, like trying to give me whatever. So I'm like, nah. So I just tell people, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, but the rule in the app is we can't go inside anyone's home. So I do apologize. You have to come out and get your food. And then he got saying like, well, just bring it up to me, man. You can just come upstairs, whatever. And I was like, no, I'm sorry, you have to come get it, or I'm about to leave. Cause I was like, I'm not about to play with nobody. And he's like, man, just bring the food. And I was at this point, I was like, bro, you gotta come out and get your food, or I'm out. And at this point, I didn't even want him to come out and get the food. Cause like now it's gonna be a commotion. Cause he'll come out, he gonna want to start some mess with wolves what's about to go down. So at this point, I'm in my car waiting. And I got the food like this, like ready to go out the window, but my car is still in drive, so I'm ready to go. I'm like, if this dude come out here and it's more than him, or he got guns, or whatever somebody happened, I'm out of there, my guy. Drop your food, clown. I ain't worried about your little cheeseburger. But it's annoying because I ain't gonna do too much talking. Let's watch the video. But anyway, he should not win this person's house, clown. And his police ain't that bright neither.
He asked me to hold the flashlight
No.
as he guided the man who was now cuffed up the stairs. All the while, he was screaming in pain and at the cop. The cop brought him outside and called for an ambulance on his radio.
Went down in the bleed to death.
He wanted me to stick around to sign a witness statement. I stuck around for about half an hour before I left and went home. Who would have thought the same cop who wrote me a ticket would potentially save my life 10 minutes later?
So it's crazy how like when they be saying everything happened for a reason. Like sometimes it just feel legit, bro. Like you got pulled over by this cop on your way to that same house. If you were not speeding, you were still gonna go to that house, and you were a clown, so you were gonna go in regardless. If you would have not been speeding and got pulled over, and you would have never drove off with that cop still having information like, dang, I gotta get this stuff. You'd have been big dummy dead. I mean, we wouldn't have even been hearing this story right now. I had another creepy one, but nothing like too crazy. I never did nothing at night. I'll tell you guys at the end though.
I occasionally do some deliveries for Postmates, usually late at night after work during the week or on weekends. I use my motorcycle as it allows me to get from point A to point B faster.
Okay.
I was delivering some Mexican food to a guy named Ron.
Woo.
It was a 15-minute drive from the burrito place to Ron's address. When I got to the listed address, I brought the food up the long driveway and up to the front door. I rang the bell, and an older woman opened the door.
I ain't about her.
I said delivery for Ronnie, but the woman looked confused and said, "There's no Ronnie here."
Well, I'm gone then.
I apologized and said I had the wrong house. So I went back to my bike and double-checked the app, making sure I was at the right house. And according to the app, I was. The house number was 15, just like listed on the app. I figured it was time to call this Ron guy to figure out if he had made a mistake with the
Yeah, because in the app, it lets you call.
I used the call feature on the app,
which is dope.
but after one ring,
it
went to
masks your number,
voicemail.
though.
So I tried texting instead, and within seconds, he replied back. I told him the address he gave me was wrong, and he swiftly said, "Yeah, sorry about that." He explained that he didn't actually live here, but that he was chilling with his friend in the preserve across the street from the house listed on the delivery.
You ain't getting no food.
He requested I come into the nature preserve by the fire and drop it off there. He mentioned he was sorry about this and was planning on leaving a generous tip. One time before, I did have someone request I drop off their food at a park near their house. So at that moment, it didn't seem like the strangest thing in the world.
Strange to me, because I told you
It was
straight up,
just
I
a
ain't
slight
doing it.
inconvenience, but one that he'd apparently make up for with the tip. The preserve was gated, but there happened to be an opening leading into it right across the street from the house. I followed the dirt trail until the light post ended, and any further I would be walking into complete darkness.
Wow.
I looked around for the light of the fire, and as a matter of fact, I did see a hint of light coming from the woods. I started making my way over into the increasing darkness of the woods, leaving the lit up area. As I got closer, I could confirm it was light from a fire.
But ain't nobody there.
Why were they in the middle of the woods, though?
They're about to kill you.
The question of why they were expecting me to bring it to them out there started to ring in my head. I yelled out Ron's name a few times.
Why? You don't know where you at?
Distance of the fire. No answer. When I got close enough, I noticed something. There was no one sitting around that campfire.
I could have told you that,
I asked
clown.
myself, was that the right fire? But that was a silly question. How many fires could there be on a weeknight in the preserve? I walked a little closer to the fire and noticed a tent behind it. Maybe they were in there. So once again, I yelled Ron's name as I approached the
I
tent.
threw that food, that tent had been
It
gone.
was zipped up. I tapped on the tent and said Ron's name again. So I finally unzipped the tent and knelt down.
You doing all this for a $4 delivery? You about to get $4 for that delivery. You know what's funny though? When some people that call you and let you know, like, yo, when you get to my crib, do this, boom, 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 like knock at this door or something like that, basically, which is cool. But when some people, I had to happen to me twice by black people, because it's like, because black people, we always looking for the hookup, the homie hookup, like, hey, look out for your boy. So it twice happened. The first time this dude, when I guess he heard I was black, he's like, oh, hey, man, brother. Like, cause they always use that first and they want something like, hey, my sister, my brother, whatever. Like, hey, my brother, hey, do me a favor. Can you stop by the store and grab some, I guess he wanted like some, I want to say like some blunts or something like that. I'm like, for one, why would I stop by the store and buy some blunts for you when you didn't pay for that in the app that's wasting my gas? I'm gonna have to come out of pocket for that because you didn't pay for that. And he's like, I just give you the money when you get here. Like, for one, I don't trust you enough. Like, nah. I'm like, and I straight up tell I was like, nah, I can't do that because it's on a timer. I'd be lying to him, like, it's on a timer. If I don't get there on time or if I come off track, then they'll call me, see where I'm at, where I'm going, why I'm not delivering food. So the first dude, he kind of was like, oh, all right, whatever. It makes sense, whatever. So I got that again the second time. This dude, he ordered some food, but then he tried to be slick. Because when you order food through the app, you pay for it right there. Boom, boom, boom. And it's paid for. If you want to tip, you can tip. And then, like, they'll do stuff like, oh, I forgot to add. When you get there, make sure you add a drink, add blah, 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 blah. I'm like, nah, because I'm not paying for that out of pocket, clown. I'm not stupid. So I'm like, no, I can't do that because you ain't pay for whatever you pay for on the app. I get, like, just look out for me. Like, and it was peeing me off because one dude, like, legit, I was like, bro, I was like, legit, I was like, bro, I'm not about to do that, man. I was like, you pay for this. He's like, yeah, all right, then bring it in. I'm like, nah, people so dumb. Go back a bit. That's why I hated doing this.
It was zipped up. I tapped on the tent and said Ron's name again.
Man, Ron ain't there. You
So
stupid.
I finally unzipped the tent and knelt down to look inside. I saw someone laying down on their stomach, facing away from me, so that their shoes were only a few inches from my face.
What?
They seemed to be asleep.
They dead.
This was getting a bit ridiculous, so I just marked the order as delivered and turned ready to walk away.
I'd have been did that.
I didn't even make it a single step before noticing someone standing about 20 feet from me, between two big trees. He called out, "Are you alone?"
No!
"No," I said. "My friend is just over there." The guy asked, "Why aren't you alone?" I said I do my deliveries with a partner.
Yep. Oh, I like
He asked,
good
"Where's
thing.
my food?"
Right there.
I was about to tell him it was in the tent when I felt two hands grab both my legs and try pulling me down. I looked down and saw the arms reaching out from the tent.
Get them off my feet. My bad. My bad. I hate when people like in movies or stories when they tell them apart about being grabbed or something, because I really don't know what it is. I really feel it. Like, not like I don't physically feel it, but I you know, like mentally in my head, like how you said somebody grab his feet. I can feel it. Somebody grab my feet. So get off me. I'm sorry. You had some Nike prints on your head, mess with me, boy, because I'm kicking.
I was in the tent when I felt two hands grab both my legs and tried pulling me down. I looked down and saw the arms reaching out from the tent. Ron, presumably the guy who I was just talking to, started charging at me. With only maybe 5 seconds to act, I did manage to escape the grasp of the two hands and run past Ron, if that was even his real name.
No, ain't his real name.
I don't think he chased me after I left the vicinity of the fire. I found my way back to the bike easily,
Did he tip?
and I drove off without taking a second to look back. I contacted Postmates customer service about it.
I'm done.
They told me I should escalate it to the police, as there was nothing they could do.
Facts, but sucks.
By the time they even responded with that, I didn't even feel up to going through with a police report. I just figured I'd let it go.
I would have
got
do somebody
lucky
else.
and I was unharmed. Still, it taught me one thing. If your instinct tells you to turn and walk away,
Yes.
do it.
I listened to mine every time I was doing it. Not a clown. You think I should be talking or watching these stories? Nah. In some situation I felt like that was hella bad. Nah, I ain't doing it. Stay in this car, you come out and get your
For
food.
some reason, I never really used any of those food delivery apps until recently, after learning how convenient they are. One night after a late work shift, I didn't have time to make dinner, so I ordered some Chinese food off Postmates. It was originally estimated to be delivered in half an hour, but I waited a lot longer than that. Around the 45-minute mark is when I started getting impatient. I called the Postmates driver, and he picked up after a few rings. I asked him where he was. He asked, "Who is this?" I said, "Tracy, the girl he was delivering food for." There was a short silence. Then he said, "Oh yes, I'm on my way." So I thanked him and hung up. I sat in my living room with the TV on and basically just played around on my phone, dying for the Postmates driver to just show up already.
That food gonna be cold and nasty.
Just then my phone started vibrating, and knowing that it was likely the Postmates driver calling me, I felt very relieved that the food was probably here at last. I picked up and waited for him to say something. I had to say hello like 4 times before he finally started speaking.
Weird.
He said he's outside.
Took you that long?
I didn't really know how to respond to that, so I said okay and then described my house to him. Then he said something weird. He asked me to come outside to get the food. I opened my front door to check if he was there. He wasn't.
Man, cancel that.
I asked him where he was as I stepped out onto the front deck. There was another pause. I looked around my whole front yard and didn't see anyone. I told him I didn't see him. He said, "I see you."
Oh no!
Again, I didn't know how to respond, but the way he said it was just so creepy. The last thing he said before I hung up the phone was, "You look really pretty."
Why even what? Well, I guess it makes sense. I was gonna say, why even get the job doing this if you're just gonna be out just harassing, probably trying to kill people? But then again, I mean, it's like a honestly, it sucks to say, but it's kind of like an easy access to like, all right, boom, I'm gonna see what this person look like. I'm gonna know where you live at if I'm delivering to you. But my thing is like this one is more creepier because this is the food that you ordered. I mean, this person came to your house, so regardless, this person know where you live now.
At that point, I went inside and slammed my door shut and locked it.
Get the gun.
I opened the Postmates app, and it said my food was delivered. I didn't know what was going on here, but I was growing increasingly uncomfortable. I shut off all the lights in my house and started looking out each window.
Oh, yeah, actually better inside the house because that
I started with the living room windows. Didn't see anyone.
You didn't call the cops?
Then I checked the dining room windows. Nothing. Next, the kitchen.
That fool gonna be in the house.
Still no one. So I went down to our den, which was by the back door. I hadn't raised the curtain that morning because of work, so I pulled the string to raise it up. Only a little bit. Just enough to peek under to check the backyard. This whole time I was looking out windows. I don't think I actually expected to see someone. But when I looked under the curtain to the den window, I saw a man sitting in my back patio. He wasn't on his phone, he wasn't doing anything. He was just sitting there, as if he were waiting for me. I lowered the curtain back down, and then my phone rang. It was the guy again. I picked up, and he immediately said, "I just saw you at the window."
No, you didn't! That's my brother!
As I'm calling the cops, and I hung up. I went back to the living room and called the cops.
You should have binged that.
The man on the phone said an officer would be over shortly. After I hung up, my phone kept ringing. It was the man. I kept rejecting his calls, but he wouldn't stop.
What is wrong with people?
Sitting there waiting for the cops was one of the most tense moments of my life. Eventually, there was a knock at the door, followed by a man shouting police.
No, it ain't.
I jumped off the couch and ran to open the door.
Don't open it!
I was confused to see not a man in a police...
Why do people not use peepholes in these stores? You clearly said you was looking out the blinds. I can't. This is dumb. This is so dumb.
Uniform, but some man in some dirty street...
Exactly, clown.
Who gave a disturbing smile as soon as we made eye contact.
Boom! Bust that boy in his chin.
He opened the storm door and tried to get in, but I pushed the front door hard enough to get it shut and locked it. He didn't bang on the door, he didn't scream anything. I think he simply ran off after that. A few minutes later, the actual police showed up, and they searched the property with me.
For what? He not in here?
He found the man's phone left on the table in the backyard. The background to the phone was a white guy with a blonde girl, presumably his girlfriend. I note this because the man who was on my stoop was not white, he was Hispanic. I did a little detective work with the cops and came to the conclusion that this man was not originally my Postmates driver.
But he got that person's
He had stolen the driver's phone somehow mid-delivery. The police confiscated the phone and left after taking a report.
Which sucks, 'cause he gonna be coming back.
As far as I know, that man never returned to my house.
Thank goodness.
But this was easily the scariest experience of my life.
Yo, she ain't never ordered food again. She ain't ordering a pizza to the house or nothing. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. After this, I was gonna say, like, well, why would he do that? Because when you first sign up, I don't know about Postmates, but for DoorDash, it legit go through a full background check, get all your information, and basically get everything. So it wouldn't make sense to be stalking someone like that if you're doing the delivery, because all your information is on file. Unless you're just that good, you just have a bunch of crap ton of fake information put to the side. But it makes sense now because like you said, he or she said, I guess he got that person phone mid-delivery. I mean, he probably stole that from somebody who was doing it. Hopefully he didn't hurt the person who he took it from and then took their phone. Hopefully that did not happen. But now it makes sense. I was like, because I'm like, hold up, wait, why would he do that? And all that stuff is on file. And you know what's funny? But I was gonna mention, I had like somewhat of a creepy story. It wasn't like creepy like to this extent. It was just like it was weird. I'll say that it was just weird because this person ordered this food. And then it was like, there's like when you get to the house, it's like do not knock on the door. There's like do not come to the door. There's like just lay the food on the sidewalk. I'm thinking it's a joke, but I do all mine in daytime. I ain't do nothing at night. If it started getting dark, nope, done, whatever. So I was like, all right, I'll leave it there. So I left the food on the sidewalk. You ain't gotta tell me twice, Mike. I left it on the sidewalk and put the car in reverse. Now when I drop it up, like I'll pull like this, like if this your driveway, I'm pulling up, like pulling up in your driveway. I open the door. Look, you know, wait, okay, I'm driving. Open the door. Put the food down like that. Feet is on the gas and on the brake at all time. Car is in drive. Play with me if you want. I go clean through your house in this car. Anyway, open the door, drop it, boom. Close the door, windows always up, back up, reverse. Left your food right there. Send you a text. Food is on the sidewalk, my guy. Enjoy your burger and rocks, all right? Because I don't know what got in it, bugs, and then I don't even know if you can get it. But what was funny, what was strange though, like when I got to the edge of the corner, And I was like purposely going slow. Cause I was like, who is this person? Why are they so secretive? Oh, one thing I was thinking of, which I hope is not true, because usually these other type of situations, when someone got like someone, I really, really, really hope this was not the case. But these are usually the situations where someone like got someone in their home and they don't want nobody in their home or wrote their face scene because like maybe they already got somebody kidnapped in or whatever. So I'm hoping I just didn't deliver food to some kidnapper who's like basically got someone just in this house, just freaking like caged away, whatever. So he come out or she come out in the mask, get their food, whatever. And, like basically, so no one can hear the, because he didn't even want me to, he or she didn't even want me to knock on the door. Didn't want me on the, like basically they were close to the house as if it was something super secretive. So and it didn't hit me that way until the next day. Like, what if that person was like kidnapping people or somebody's in a house and he don't want to hear nobody, they hear that person scream or something because the food was coming to the house. Because I know if I'm kidnapped in your house, you tell me don't say that, I'm like, oh, I ain't saying that. It's like I'm screaming help, because at this point you about to kill me anyway. I may as well alarm someone, so they know like, yo, someone in that house need freaking help. But I don't know, but this one was a good freaking story. Well, had some good English. This one has some good stories though. But yo, if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, share, guys. Amazing guys, so awesome. But till next time, buddies, Charlie's out.